The 2024 Autosport International BTRDA Clubman's Rallycross Championship reaches its climax with round 6, the finale at the home of motorsport in Scotland, here at Knockhill. Around 50 cars are here across 7 different classes, including a number of visitors from across the Irish Sea and beyond, ready to do battle here at the home of Scottish motorsport. 4 drivers remain in contention for the overall championship when the points from all classes are added together. This is going to be a very interesting climax to the season indeed. Let's take a lap of the Knockhill circuit. We're on board with Todd Crooks in his super modified BMW Mini. Very wet conditions early on in the day here at Knockhill. We head into the right-hander on the tarmac, drop down Duffus Dip, then onto the brakes into McRae Corner and onto the loose section. Very, very wet and muddy, especially in the early heats today here at the Knockhill circuits. This section known as the Big Dipper as we go over the bumps between the tyre walls. Very narrow, very, very slippery indeed as well. Some very difficult conditions indeed, as we see from Cameron Whitney in front of us there, sliding off into the tyre wall. Unfortunately, Todd Crooks able to get through the mud and back onto the tarmac on railway straights. Then the short sprint up towards the right-hander at Taylor's Turn, which will take the cars through onto the pit straight and the end of a lap. Mind those tyre stacks on the outside as well. So a very tricky day in prospect here at the Knockhill circuit here at round 6 of the Autosport International BTRDA Clubman's Rallycross Championship. We begin our roundup with the AVM Motors Junior Rallycross, and bad news in the heats for one of the championship contenders, Irishman Ty Ratton, who slid wide on the loose section in heat number 3 and ended up on his roof after hitting the tyre wall. Fortunately, Ty was okay after the impact. The car was repaired in time for the A final. Elliot Fewster had qualified on pole with championship contender Ben Bartlett alongside, Teddy McPherson completing the front row. Ty Ratton had won a heat earlier on, as had Teddy McPherson. Fewster completing the front row. Ben Bartlett still in with a chance of the overall championship if he could win this A final. We're underway then down towards the first corner. Fewster and Bartlett side by side, and Ty Ratton's repaired car, you can see the damage to the front of the roof there, in third place. McPherson having a go down the inside, but very close indeed throughout the day in the juniors. These racers as young as 14, all under 17 years of age, most of them in 1300cc Suzuki Swifts, plus the Citroen C2 of Harvey Hutchinson, one of our newcomers at the back of the field. But it's Elliot Fewster who leads the way, looking for his first ever final victory. Ben Bartlett knows he needs to win this A final if he is to stay in contention for the overall championship. The other contenders for overall glory this year, Richard Rees in the cross car division, also in super modified David Bell, and in production Alex Fletcher. We'll see them out later on as Ty Ratton hits one of the tyre stacks at Taylor's Turn. Could lose third place there to Teddy McPherson. If Ben Bartlett stays where he is now, he will win the junior championship. Quirk of the rules meaning that every driver can only win one title. So if Ben Bartlett doesn't win overall, he can still take the junior championship. But if he does win overall, the junior championship passes to the driver in second in the points. Tricky system that the BTRDA Clubman's Rallycross Championship uses, as contact there between Ratton and McPherson. Ratton goes back through ahead of the number 119 machine. A little bit of push and shove there as McPherson had taken the third place away on the top straight, but Ratton, no doubt frustrated after his role earlier on, has spent most of this season battling with Ben Bartlett for the junior points lead in his battered and bruised car further back in third. Thankfully, time was okay after that rollover earlier on. Very slippy indeed in the first couple of rounds of heats in the morning session. Teddy McPherson had a heat win, as did Ben Bartlett and Elliot Fewster. 3 heats, of course, and drivers take their best 2 results to determine their grid position for the finals. Scored a glimpse of Harvey Hutchinson in the Citroen at the back of the field. 6 laps for the A finals here at Knockhill. It's Elliot Fewster continuing to lead, and Ben Bartlett seeing his hopes of the overall championship starting to slip away. He needed to win this race because there are 4 drivers level on points at the top of the standings overall when all the classes are combined. If all 4 of them win their A finals, we could have a 4-way tie-break for the championship. And championship coordinator Jordine Crooks will be very busy with the calculators working out the tie-break. Elliot Fewster leads the way. Ben Bartlett, if he doesn't win this, he'll have to rely on his rivals not winning their A finals in their classes. Elliot Fuster looking very impressive here, looking for his first ever A final win. Ben Bartlett and Ty Ratton have divided the wins up between them so far this season. We see there why we call this section of track the Big Dipper. Elliot Fuster bouncing his way along over the bumps there. Kangaroo over this section as well. Back onto the tarmac. A lot of cars have been sliding off on that exit to the loose section onto the grass as the day has gone. It was very, very wet in the early part of this meeting. Full credit to all the drivers for battling their way through. Start of the final lap then. You can see the bad weather has got into our cameras a little bit as well, so thanks to all our camera crews for doing their level best to capture the action. The camera on the top straight struggling a bit with the conditions there. But the first two well clear ahead of Ty Ratton in third. Teddy McPherson battling Hayden Harris for fourth position, and Harvey Hutchinson at the back in our 6-strong junior rallycross entry, sponsored by AVM Motors and MRF Tyres, the tyre partner of the championship this year. A big thanks to them for their support, alongside title sponsor Autosport International, the racing car show held at the NEC in Birmingham every January. Always a big display of rallycross cars there, and we see them in action in the live arena as well. Fuster coming up to lap Harvey Hutchinson. It's been a learning year for the young gun in the Citroen C2. He'll improve his results in 2025, but it's going to be a win for Elliot Fuster, who will take his first ever A final victory. Congratulations to him. Ben Bartlett in second, and he will provisionally seal the junior championship title. He won't be in contention for the overall title with second place, but he will wrap up the junior crown ahead of Ty Ratton, who will take third place. There's Teddy McPherson in car number 119. He's dropped back in the closing stages of this race because that's Hayden Harris coming through in fourth position, and McPherson will take fifth place. So Elliot Fuster the winner by just over 3 seconds ahead of Ben Bartlett, who provisionally wraps up the junior championship ahead of Ty Ratton. Full credit to him and his crew for getting the car back out after his rollover. Hayden Harris fourth ahead of Teddy McPherson, and Harvey Hutchinson completing the 6 finishes in our AVM Motors Junior Rallycross A final here at Knockhill.
Elliot, can you possibly sum up in a few words how you feel having won that race?
Just amazed, like it's the first time ever. After coming from Junior Saloons last year, I didn't have the chance to get it, but now in Rallycross it's so good, it feels so good. It's just, yeah, I'm over the moon.
Well, I'm not surprised that you're feeling that, because it was a very emphatic win. You had us on the edge of our seats, metaphorically. I was standing, because the way that you were taking that last corner, you were right on the edge every lap.
Yeah, I know. If in doubt, flat out, you know? Got to keep it. You know.
Yeah, who said that? I must have a word with them. Not possible, of course, but at this time I always think it's good to thank those who've helped you get here.
Yeah. Big thank you for Max Landmaid's Motorsport this year, just getting the car perfect, ready for every single round. And my sponsors, Thompson & Son, for actually being able to get me to rounds. Because, yeah, just big thank you to them.
Brilliant. Well, I don't know how you're going to celebrate later on, but however you do it, a big congratulations from me. Well done.
Thank you.
Next up is the Bone Street Autos BMW Mini category. 3 cars on the grid for this one. Ben Sayer, the reigning champion, scored a hat-trick of wins in the heats. He's on pole position. David Ellis and Harvey Harman alongside him. We get underway. If Ben Sayer wins this, he will retain his BMW Mini championship. The 3 of them together down the hill into Duffer's Dip for the first time. David Ellis in the Proctor's coach's car having a go around the outside, but it's Sayer who leads the way. The Sayers Road Tankers car leads into McRae Corner. Harvey Harman a little further back in third place. Ben Sayer's done the majority of the winning this year. We saw Lynn Llewellyn on top in the opening round of the year at Blighton in Lincolnshire as well. He's not here this weekend. 4 cars here. Non-starter Alan Laidler unfortunately had some problems in practice and failed to race. Wing mirror goes flying off Harvey Harman's car there. I think he clipped the tyre wall, but it's Ben Sayer who leads up towards Taylor's. The sun now burning through the cloud here at Knockhill, but it is still pretty slippery out there if you go offline. Harvey Harman's locked up and Ellis off as well. They're both off into the grass. Now they're hoping they don't bog down there, or they'll both be stuck and out of the race. Ben Sayer suddenly thinking, where's all my opposition gone? He's out on his own in front. He just needs to complete this race to secure the championship for the 2nd year running. Now David Ellis is stuck. He can't get any grip on the grass there. Harvey Harman is trying his hardest to keep going. This is bizarre. This is like a grass auto test between these two BMW Minis. Identical cars, 1600cc with supercharged engines, and Harvey Harman trying not to bog down here as he makes his way over towards the tarmac to rejoin the race. He'll be way behind when he does so, but Harman's kept it going, credit to him. There goes Ben Sayer, so he's now leading by a full lap. Now he knows where his opposition's got to. They were stuck at Taylor's turn. David Ellis, I think, is out of the race. So away goes Ben Sayer, who's now leading by a full lap of the Knockhill circuit. And he's heading for his second successive championship. Heads down into Duffer's Dip. A little bit of smoke there out of the back of Ben's car. Oh, Ben Sayer, his opposition removed itself on the opening lap. He also lost Alan Laidler early on in practice, and Sayer out of shape. He doesn't want to get bogged down on the grass. We've seen a lot of cars go off there today. Just got out of sync in the ruts there, coming out of the infield section. He got onto the grass, and if he bogged down there, well, we'd have had to wait for Harvey Harman to make up the lap and come through to the checkered flag as the only runner. But Sayer saved it, and he's kept it together. Over the top he comes, down the straight. Into his final lap now, Ben Sayer, and he's heading for his second consecutive title, the former junior rallycross competitor. Still a little bit of smoke there, might be dropping a little bit of fluid, Ben Sayer's car possibly. I hope it holds out around this last lap. Otherwise, we will be waiting a while for Harvey Harman to cross the line. Over the bumps he goes there, over the Big Dipper. Sayer keeping it together, just needs to get through this section okay. There's yellow flags out there on the final corner because of David Ellis's stranded car. What a bizarre race for the Bone Street Autos BMW Minis to close out their season. Out of the final corner to take the win in the A final, Ben Sayer retains his BMW Mini Championship. And coming through for second will be Harvey Harman. Here he comes. A lap down after going off, and he did well to dig the car out of the grass and struggle home for the finish in what's been a day of attrition for the BMW Minis. Harvey Harman comes over in second place, and now the marshals have to recover David Ellis's car. Ben Sayer does a lap of honour, taking the win by a full lap ahead of Harvey Harman in second after recovering from his off. David Ellis failing to complete a lap in that one, got stuck in the grass on the outside of Taylor's turn. Alan Laidler, as we mentioned, sadly failing to race after problems in practice. Ben Sayer retains the Bone Street Autos BMW Mini Rallycross Championship.
Ben, you look happy, your car looks muddy, you've just won. How good's that?
Really good. Come into the weekend 6 points clear, and I needed a second or a first. We managed to get first in all the heats and the final, so I nearly lost it in the final there, even though I was on there on my own. But no, happy days.
Was that you showboating or extravagance or?
Just trying something different, but it didn't quite work. But no, I'm happy. I was struggling in the loose out there on my own because I could hear the car, and I thought something might go wrong here. So I tried going a bit steady into the loose, and it made it worse. So I stuck to my original plan. But as soon as I come around the first, I didn't have the best of starts, to be honest. I went backwards, if anything, and managed to get it back going into second gear. But as soon as I come around the corner, I was like, the Gogo and Harvey had put themselves out. So as soon as I went back round again and got a lap ahead of them, I thought I'll just chill out a bit here before I damage the car and throw it away from myself. But no, happy days.
We still looked impressive and good speed, even though you weren't at 10 tenths.
No, because last year here we had a really bad run. I think we car cut out all 3 heats. There was a wiring issue, but we managed to fix that. But no, this weekend's been no problems at all. So it's what you need for the last one.
Well, if you're going to win a championship, you might as well do it in style.
Yeah. No, thank you very much. We'll have a beer on the way back, I think, for that.
Because you're not driving.
Nope, I'm passenger. I'll be sat in the back chilling out, I think.
Well, good for you. Well deserved. Many congratulations.
On to next year, thank you.
Next up on track, the Spark Developments Pre-95 Classic Division. Champion-elect Jamie McBain in the Peugeot 205 GTI is on pole. He won 2 of the heats. David Ewan, the Cumbrian, in the Ford Fiesta Evo alongside him, won Heat 3. Dan Swayland's Mark 1 Escort completing the front row. We get underway with McBain and Ewan leading them away side by side in that first corner. Ewan a little bit sideways, and Jamie McBain is who takes up the lead, going for 3 wins out of the 3 races he's competed in today. Won the first 2 heats, sat out the third because he already scored the 2 wins he needed to take pole for the final, so saved the car in Heat 3. David Ewan in second in the Fiesta Evo, been beset with engine problems this year. Good to see him having a better day. He loves this Knockhill circuit. Swayland's Mark 1 Escort in third position, and behind them Vince Bristow, who switched from his BMW into a Peugeot 205 GTI. Local man Ian Biaggi in his Mini Clubman in 5th position. Swayland challenging Ewan for 2nd place. One non-starter in this race, Helen Crooks in her Mini, unfortunately broke a CV joint on that car in the 2nd heat earlier on, so she's out of the meeting sadly. First 3 pulling away from Vince Bristow, Mr. Sideways as we call him. Normally see him in his rear-wheel drive BMW, but trying something different with the Peugeot today. Ian Biaggi upholding Scottish honour in 5th position in the Mini that he's raced for many years now. David Ewan sideways there, coming out of McRae corner. Dan Swayland moving up to challenge for 2nd place. As long as Jamie McBain completes this race, he will win his first championship in the Spark Developments Pre-95 Classic Division. Done the majority of the winning this year, along with Alan Tapscott, the man from the southwest, in his Mark 2 Escort, who's not here this weekend, nor is Mark Jones, the Welshman, in his Toyota MR2, who had a win at Blighton earlier this season. Tom Edmonds absent as well, the Vauxhall Corsa driver, had a big smash at Knockhill last season, and a better season this year. As there's Vince Bristow, he's getting used to the Peugeot 205. Bain continues to lead. David Ewan had a 1st, a 2nd and a 4th in his heats to line up 2nd on the grid. Dan Swayland had 2 seconds and a 3rd. Here comes Ewan onto the back of Jamie McBain. Jamie won't mind too much if David gets past him, because I think 2nd place will be enough to secure in the Classic title. He's not in the equation for the overall championship, Jamie McBain. A few points off the drivers who could go into a tie-break today if they win their A finals. That's in production, super modified and cross car. They're all coming up. Bain on lap 4 of the 6 now into McRae corner. Of course, we saw one of the McRae family compete here at Knockhill 12 months ago. Max McRae, son of Alistair, and nephew of the legendary former World Rally champion Colin, competed in a cross car. See the little cross cars out later on. Bain, who's done some club rallying this season as well, recently competed up in Lancashire at the Edge Speed stages, finishing 7th and winning his class with Jordine Crooks, the BTRDA Rallycross Championship coordinator, as co-driver. Is the number 22 of Dan Swayland. The Mark 1 Escort's had a good, consistent season this year. He's up there in 3rd. It's Bristow in 4th. Ian Biaggi's Mini in 5th. Sadly, Helen Crooks, a non-starter. We'll see her son Todd out a bit later on. We've already taken a ride with him around the Knockhill circuit in his BMW Mini in super modified. The Crooks family doing so much for this championship behind the scenes as well, along with John Rook, the championship manager. David Ewan, veteran rallycrosser, former Bangor racer as well. Sheep farmer from Cumbria. Lost a little bit of ground there to Jamie McBain in the 205 GTI. Swing their way through. David Ewan a bit sideways, mind the tyre stacks. A lot of drivers have been caught out by those so far today. David Ewan flicks the tail out on the Fiesta, nearly out to the pit wall. So named the Fiesta Evo because it's got a Mitsubishi Evo engine under the bonnet. A real mixture of different vehicles, really, that car, when you look under the skin. A little bit of smoke out of the back of the 205 there, but Jamie McBain on his last lap now. He's heading for victory, and he is heading for the Spark Developments Pre-95 Classic Championship. For the first time in his career. He's come close on a couple of occasions in the last few years. This year he's had the pace and the consistency needed. Comes up through the loose section for the final time. Back onto the tarmac. Just to get round Taylor's turn now. Here he comes. Your A-final winner, hat-trick winner, and pre-95 classic champion is Jamie McBain. He takes the win. David Ewing comes over in second, his best result of the season. They're clear of Dan Swalen, third in the Escort Mark 1. Further back, Vince Bristow in the Peugeot 205 will take fourth ahead of Ian Biaggi. Jamie McBain already celebrating his title win. David Ewing's had a fantastic day today as well. And here comes Ian Biaggi, the home hero in his BMC Mini Clubman. He's raced this car for more years than I can remember. He will come through to take fifth place behind Vince Bristow. So the win goes to Jamie McBain, then just under 3 seconds clear at the flag of David Ewing. A fantastic second place for David. Dan Swalen will take third place. Vince Bristow's first time out in the Peugeot season take fourth, and Ian Biaggi completing the finishes. Helen Crooks in her Mini, sadly a non-starter after problems in the heats. Jamie McBain then provisionally takes the Spark Developments Classic Championship for 2024.
Jamie, as team leader, having a two-car team here this week with Vince Bristow driving another 205, any extra responsibility?
No. Vince is quite experienced. He knows how to drive, whether it's front-wheel drive or, well, yeah, it's more rear-wheel drive. I think he took a few rear-wheel drive lines this morning, which didn't quite work out, and ended up backwards. So, but no, fair play to him. He's done all right today.
Yeah. But not as well as your dear self.
Wasn't easy. Obviously, last year wasn't very good, and then we built the new car this year, and it's earned its keep. So yeah, David's quick round here, very quick. So I was quite nervous with him being sat next to me on pole, but no, I kept him in the background. I managed to get in front off the line, and that was deed done.
But it must have been a little bit off-putting for you with having Dave one side then the other, taking a leaf out of Vince Bristow's playbook.
Yeah, he is. Well, David, he always goes well around here. He gave Lee a run for his money last year in the final there, so he's done the same again this year. But he's had his own problems with the car, and he's come out and he's finished and had a good day. So good effort to him. And
I expect you'll be off rallying again shortly, but in this car or one of your others?
So we've got two. So I've got, actually there's three. There's a broken shell, which we unfortunately crashed a couple of weeks back. So that's been rebuilt. And then we've obviously got this one here, which, the all exact same replica.
And either way, you're driving and, well, in this case, you're winning.
Yes. I've always had bad runs at Knockhill. So the first year, engine cut out in the final. Last year, we didn't lose a wheel, but we had an issue, and then this year, we've come here and the new car's proved its worth.
If at first you can't succeed, try again.
Exactly, and it works. Persistence pays.
Well, I'm glad it has. Great stuff, great driving, and welcome to the top step of the winners' podium.
Yep, thank you.
Well done.
All right. Cheers, Steve. Thank you.
Next up on the grid, it is the SG Haulage Limited Super Modified Championship. Look out for David Bell in the BMW Mini Countryman in the middle of the front row. He's one of our overall championship contenders. He slots into second place, potentially. No, he's dropped back into third, fourth, possibly fifth. It's a swarm of Northern Irish drivers who go to the front of the field in this one, but the Northern Irish contingent, who currently hold the top four places, not registered for points. As long as David Bell finishes as the top point scorer, he'll remain in contention for the overall title. It's Sam Boville in the green Ford Fiesta who has taken the early lead. Alan Crockett in his beautiful Opel Kadett in second place in the old dealer team Opel colours. With sponsorship from Shell Oils, very much similar to the cars that the great Barry Lee used to rallycross. Third place is Dave Crockett in his Vauxhall Chevette HSR. And also look out for Stan Boville in his Mark II Escort. They're the four Northern Irish contenders. Dave Crockett, that is, running a bit wide. David Bell doesn't need to worry about beating them. He just needs to stay ahead of his fellow point scorers. There's one car into retirement. Dale Singleton's Ford KA Sport has pulled off at the end of Railway Straight there, so he's out of the running. It's Northern Ireland to the fore, very much so the guest drivers, and off goes Alan Crockett into the gravel at McRae Corner. Should be able to dig the Opel out of there and continue. Rejoins just in front of Cameron Whitley in his turbo diesel VW Polo. Phil Chicken's Citroen C2 behind him. There is David Bell, just got a glimpse of him behind Stan Boville's Mark II Escort. Used to race an Escort Cosworth in Northern Irish Rallycross. Bell ahead of Todd Crooks in his BMW Mini, the 2023 Supermodified champion, and Dave Crockett spun the Vauxhall Chevette into Taylor's turn, so he loses a couple of spots. Alan Crockett recovering goes through. So an incident-packed race so far. It's been an incident-packed day for the Supermodifieds. Heat 1 winner Corey Paget went out in Heat 2 with some damage, racing his dad Phil Chicken's VW Lupo instead of his usual Citroen C2 today. Second heat was won by Sam Boville, who leads this race, and Heat 3 was won by Alan Crockett in the Opel. All action then, and talking of Alan Crockett, he spun again coming out of McRae corner. That's going to cause a traffic jam. Dave Crockett slows up and drops behind Stephen Ratu in the MGZR. Well, the Northern Irish contingent, so we said David Bell doesn't need to beat them, but they seem to be falling over each other at the moment. It's the Bovilles first and second. Sam's gone clear in the Fiesta. Second place is Stanley Boville. There's David Bell in third. Very experienced rallycrosser in his BMW Mini Countryman. He's got sideways, and Todd Crooks is off as well. Well, it's getting slippery again at Taylor's turn, clearly. Off goes Crooks. That'll drop him back down the order. The champion last year in Supermodified. Of course, it was a Supermodified driver who won the title overall last year in the shape of Fred Ling, who's not raced this year. And now Bell, one of his doors is falling off. Look at that, there it goes. Well, he's trying to lighten his car, I think, to keep up with the front runners here. Boot lid's flapping open as well. What's going on? We saw Mark Finch's Clio do this last year here at Knockhill. That was shedding all its body panels around the circuit. This is mayhem. Sam Boville doesn't mind, though. The Northern Irishman in his Fiesta. He leads the way by a clear margin. He's heading for victory, but he won't pick up points. He's not registered for the BTRDA Clubman's Rallycross Championship. David Bell is. He's currently the leading point scorer. That's where he needs to be. Into lap 5 out of 6. Todd Crooks is charging back up the order after his off. He's chasing Phil Chicken. Of course, when Phil dropped out of this race 12 months ago, this corresponding Supermodified A final, it's allowed Todd Crooks to take the category title. Ahead of them is Cameron Whitley, who's had a great season, including his first A final win at Pembrey with the turbo diesel VW Polo. Looking a bit smoky there, though. It's keeping it going. There's Dave Crockett behind them. We've lost Dale Singleton. Alan Crockett's out of the race as well, unfortunately, but it's Sam Boville up front. Stan Boville is still second, way behind Sam. Sam Boville used to campaign a Vauxhall Astra in Rallycross and made a few visits to the UK with it, to the UK mainland to race with a number of different championships over the years. He's heading for victory. It's going to be a heat and final double for the Fiesta. Stan Boville in second place. David Bell is the key man. If he finishes as the highest scoring driver, then he will be in contention for the overall title. A little further back between Phil Chicken and Todd Crooks. You've already seen Sam Boville has taken the flag. He's won it. Here comes David Bell, despite the missing door skin and the boot lid flapping at times as well. The BMW Mini Countryman comes in to take third place, and he is the highest scorer. He finishes behind Stanley Boville. So David Bell will take maximum points. Cameron Whitley will be next home, just ahead of Phil Chicken, then Todd Crooks, then David Crockett. Stephen Ratu will be the other finisher. You can see a lot of smoke there from Cameron Whitley's car, just about made it home. Well, it's been a mayhem-packed day for the Supermodified division. But the win goes to Sam Boville for Northern Ireland, but the top scorer, more importantly for the championship, is David Bell. That keeps him in contention. Now he'll have to wait and see what happens in production and the cross cars. Sam Boville taking a very clear win indeed in the Fiesta. It was a 1-2 for the Bovilles. They were separated by nearly 12 seconds. Sam ahead of Stanley. David Bell finished 5 seconds further back, and he finishes as top scorer ahead of Cameron Whitley and Phil Chicken. Todd Crooks recovered from his off to take 6th ahead of David Crockett, Stephen Ratu. We lost Alan Crockett and Dale Singleton. The other cars here, Corey Paget and Gary Cook, didn't make it through to the A final, unfortunately. David Bell still in contention for this year's Clubman's Rallycross Championship.
Sam, what a great race. Clearly a toughie. You got the car very muddy. What was it like for you?
Yeah, it was. I got a good start, and I could beat everybody into the first corner, and then I had a clean windscreen and just kept my head down and tried not to look behind me. I seen Alan behind me at the start, and I it made me panic a little, so I didn't bother looking so much behind me after that. But I'm not sure what was there. But I just I changed the suspension a bit before I came out, and she's a lot better than she was for sure. Made a big difference there.
So had you softened things or tightened things up?
I was in a wet setting, and then I took it 3 nicks to the dry setting, and it worked. It really helped out of that out of the corner up towards the start and finish.
Yeah. And just remind us, how many race meetings have you had in this car so far?
Third. This is the third. I had a double header meeting in Mondello, and then this is the third. Yeah. So I'm very pleased with this. I think it was fourth or fifth, and one of the days I crashed out. My first day I crashed out in the final. Tried to cut a corner too tight and caught tyres, bent the steering arm. And then that second day is I think it was fourth or fifth. And that was in the British and Irish joint event. The Five Nations event, and then this here, and this is awesome.
Yeah, we don't really want to dwell on the not as good as winning occasions. This is your day, your win, and yeah, many congratulations.
Thanks very much. It's great. I'll see you soon.
Next up, it's the MOT Group Production Championship. Title contender Alex Fletcher led, but the final was red flagged after Mark Henry in the Alfa Romeo missed his braking point, smashed into the back of Martin Peters' Citroën Saxo. Peters was out of the restart. Mark Henry somehow managed to get his Alfa Romeo onto the grid. We get underway then with Alex Fletcher. If he wins this race, will still be in contention for the overall championship in the Loughborough College Honda Civic. Leading the way, Neil Brooks in his Renault Clio, getting away in second. This rerun A final over 4 laps instead of 6. And somehow, Mark Henry in what's left of his Alfa Romeo 147 in third place. One man who was disappointed to see the conditions improve ahead of the finals, because he was in great form over the loose in the heats earlier on. He scored a win in Heat 1. It was Alex Fletcher who won the other 2 to take pole for this A final. The Wera Tools sponsored Honda Civic leads the way. The reigning production champion. This year he wants the overall title. Neil Brooks in second place. His son Tom had hoped to race with him today in his Honda Civic. Unfortunately, an injury keeping the motorsport journalist and commentator, who have most recently been heard on Formula E among other things, out of action. Mark Henry in third. Dan Griffiths in the Citroën C2 is behind him. Somehow Mark Henry managing to resurrect that battered Alfa Romeo for the restart of this A final. As I say that, he slows coming out of McRae corner, and Mark Henry looks like he's dropping out of the race. On the first start of this race, coming into Taylor's, he just missed his braking point, locked up and smashed into the back of Martin Peters. Peters not able to take the restart. So provisionally, if Alex Fletcher does win the overall title, Martin Peters will inherit the production title because of that quirk of the rules where if you win overall, you can't win your category title as well. Neil Brooks going well here, up there in second, the best he's run so far today. Had a second, fourth and fifth in the 3 heats. Now, if he gets ahead of Alex Fletcher here, that will be music to David Bell's ears, because we won't see Alex Fletcher in a potential tie-break for the overall championship if he doesn't win this race. To McRae corner. These two going clear of Dan Griffiths in third place in the Citroën C2, with Mark Henry having pulled up. He's out of the race. So one of his rivals removed. Alex Fletcher bouncing over the bumps there. A college lecturer from Loughborough, the car run by his motorsport engineering students. Looking to at the very least retain his production championship this year, but he wants the overall title. Neil Brooks is really giving him a run for his money here in the Clio. Oh, he's locked up into Taylor's turn and spins. Round goes Neil Brooks. Oh, what a shame. That's the best he's run so far today. He rejoins fairly quickly, but he's behind Dan Griffiths in second place in the C2, and Dan Griffiths' rear bumper's hanging off as well. Kept it going though. So Alex Fletcher, another man wondering where his opposition's gone. He's on his last lap now. This is all playing into the hands of the college lecturer, the man who fought back from lymphoma some 8 years ago to return to motorsport. He would be a very deserving champion this year. This, though, if he wins this, will put him into a tie-break with David Bell. Then they'll be waiting to see whether it's a 3-way tie-break. Richard Rees in the cross car division will be the other man they're watching out for. Fletcher just needs to keep going around these last couple of corners, and he will still be in contention along with David Bell for a tie-break for the overall championship this year when all the categories are added together. Here comes Alex Fletcher in the Loughborough College Wirra Tools Honda Civic out of the final corner to win the MOT Group Production A final. He takes the victory ahead of Dan Griffiths second, trailing his bumper in the Citroen C2, and a frustrated Neil Brooks will take third place. At least he completes the distance in this incident-packed day here at Knockhill, round 6 of the Autosport International BTRDA Clubman's Rallycross Championship, and we are going to have a tie-break for the championship. Alex Fletcher the winner by just over 4 seconds ahead of Dan Griffiths. Neil Brooks recovering from a spin to take third place. Mark Henry dropping out. It was a fuel pump failure, unfortunately, that put him out of that restart. Despite the bodywork damage, was at least able to take the restart. Martin Peters sadly was not. Alex Fletcher remains in contention for the overall BTRDA Clubman's Rallycross Championship.
I'm standing here in the paddock with a man with the biggest smile on his face, and not for the first time this year, Alex Fletcher. What a race, what a race, what a win.
Yeah, just whoa. Like, that was a manic race. Obviously, there was lots of mayhem going on behind me, but thankfully we kept it going the right way, and yeah, managed to pull it home. So brilliant after today. I mean, obviously I was talking to you earlier, but we suffered a throttle position sensor failure right at the end of the heat 2. So we went out completely untested. The car's still messing about a bit. I've got throttle above 50% throttle, and that's it. So to drive around another problem, to bring the production championship home, just wow. Yeah, just brilliant for the college, for all the students that stood behind you, worked so hard today with what we've got, and you know, it's just reward for them, the college and Wirra Tools. So brilliant.
And also a very good reminder for your students of how motorsport brings with it such highs and lows. And earlier on today, you're wondering whether or not you'll be able to race in the third heats and what that might mean for even making it into the final. And here you are.
Oh, it's what a roller coaster day. Like you say, it couldn't get more real world than today. You know, it's been up and down, and yeah, wow. Just to bring that home. Yeah, I can enjoy myself now.
And let's not try to do the calculations yet as to what that means about the overall championship, because that you've done yourself a lot of favours with that.
Yeah, that's all I could do. So just go out and try and win. I've put myself in the best position. I was just thankful to be in that fight. So wherever it goes, I'm happy with the production overall. So 3 years, 3 championships. I'm ecstatic at that, but we'll see. There's always a chance.
Well deserved. Congrats. Well done.
Thank you.
The SGS Gases FIA cross cars were also red flagged on their opening lap. Tangle between pole sitter Jack Newman and Stephen Burke down Duffer's Dip, resulting in a spectacular double rollover. Fortunately, the roll cages on these little cross cars did their job. Neither driver was hurt. Just 4 cars for the restart then. Richard Rees in the number 55, the overall championship contender, on the outside of the front row alongside David Kane in number 581. Ross Wasson and Alec Davies completing the reduced grid. Jack Newman and Stephen Burke unable to take the restart with the damage to their cars. As we said, no injuries from that spectacular rollover on the first start. Side by side then into the first corner, it's David Kane who gets the advantage. Now Richard Rees, the Welshman in number 55, needs to win this race to go into a 3-way tie-break with David Bell and Alex Fletcher for the overall Autosport International BTRDA Clubman's Rallycross Championship. David Kane out front, he had a win and 2 seconds in the heats. Jack Newman had a win, a second and a 5th, while Richard Rees was a heat winner in heat 2, had a 3rd and 4th from his other heats. One driver who didn't get far, sadly, was Liam McMullen. His car hit the tyre wall on the loose section in Heat 1 and was out with suspension damage for the rest of the day. So just the 6 cars initially starting this A final. Ross Wasson in 3rd place. Aled Davies is in 4th. And Richard Rees throwing everything he's got at David Kane for the lead. Kane driving the MV racing machine. Richard Rees in a French-built Miguel XC04. Are more famous for their Formula Ford and Formula Renault single-seaters over the years. Kane goes a bit wide, but a bit of smoke there from Richard Rees' car. I hope that's not a sign of impending engine failure. There we see it again. That looks like oil smoke to me, unfortunately. So Richard Rees' car not running at its best here. He's down in second place in the Miguel, trying to catch David Kane for the lead. He knows he needs to win this race, Richard Rees, or it will be a two-way tie-break for the championship between David Bell and Alex Fletcher. Rees will have provisionally the consolation of picking up the cross-car title if he doesn't win overall. Chasing now David Kane. Wasson and Davies further back third and fourth. Jack Newman would surely have been a contender as well again. We see that smoke as they come over the loose section. Bouncing over the bumps like a kangaroo there, David Kane. Only seems to be on that little bit of track where Rees' car is smoking. Maybe it's oil being shaken up and out of the engine by the bumps. Going round to start their final lap. Reduced distance, of course, because of the red flag in the first running. Clear lead for David Kane in the 581. Richard Rees seeing his chances of the overall championship slipping away. Into the right-hander at McRae corner. See last season that young Max McRae made his cross-car debut in the SGS Gases FIA cross-car division. Looks like it is going to be a win for David Kane. Richard Rees, definitely dropping back those engine problems, slowing him slightly. Here they come, up towards Taylor's turn for the last time. It is going to be a two-way tie-break for the championship this year. Richard Rees is going to have to settle the second place. It's going to be a win for David Kane in our SGS Gases FIA Cross-Car A final. Rees comes over in second and provisionally will take the category title, subject to official ratification, I think. Coming through for third, further back will be Ross Wasson ahead of Aled Davies. But David Kane it is who takes the victory. And now the number crunching will begin. Still a couple of races to go, the super finals. It's Kane who wins by just under 2 seconds ahead of Richard Rees, rather smoky number 55. Ross Wasson further back in third and Aled Davies in fourth. Jack Newman and Stephen Burke, of course, did not take the restart but are okay after that very spectacular incident in the first running of our SGS Gases FIA Cross-Car A final.
After a very adventurous and interesting 2 races in 1 final, we have our winner, David. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thanks very much. It wasn't easy, but it never is easy.
No,
but a few incidents there, so hopefully everybody's okay and we'll get back out.
Yeah, everyone is okay. Might be a little bit of bent bodywork or whatever, but physically everyone's okay. Now you had there are rear-view mirrors of a sort here. They were filled by a certain number 55, Richard Rees.
He kept me on my toes. It was a bit close into the first corner, but I got my elbows out and he had to back off a bit, but it was tight. It's tight race. Richard's he's very fast and he's good racer now, so it's good crack when someone's pushing you on and I push him on, and that's what it's all about, isn't it?
Well, absolutely, and pushing yourself, and to do the very best that you can. And so you've excelled today, and it's for your first win of the season.
No, I won in Blyton, I think, and this is my second one. So hopefully get some more next year.
Well, that seems such a long time ago. I'll blame my memory for that one. So your proposal for next year. What are you up to?
This is my first year doing this Rallycross, so I've got the love for it now, so the bug for it, as they say. So I'll be back.
Oh, I'm glad to hear it, and see your very subtly coloured kart, although flecked with a lot of mud right now, out there on the grid again.
Yeah, definitely.
So how are you going to celebrate your win?
I'll take a few beers tonight, maybe. I've work tomorrow, so maybe not too many. So
that sounds like a good plan. My big congratulations to you. Well done.
Thanks very much. Thank you.
Now it's time for the all-comers super final. This is the King of the Hill, organised by the Darlington and District Motor Club, who venture north of the border to organise this event here at Knockhill every year. The King of the Hill race gets underway, all different categories together. Decent start there, but out onto the grass goes Simon Horton, the winner of the rally car class today in his Subaru Impreza. And it's Alan Crockett in the Opel who leads the way into the first corner. Dave Crockett in third. Northern Ireland to the fore once again. Stan Boville's Escort up into second. Todd Crooks forces his way down the inside of Sam Boville up into fourth position. Sam attacks back as they go onto the loose. Oh, there's a bit of contact there, and Todd Crooks into the tyre wall, and Sam Boville spins as well. Oh dear, as the voice of Rallycross, Arthur Debenham, would have said all those years ago. David Ewan at the back ahead of Simon Horton in his Subaru. First time in 5 years he's raced that car today. No, you can't continue the race in reverse, Sam Boville. Todd Crooks getting going again as well. And it is Alan Crockett looking to make up for failing to finish the Super Modified file in that beautiful Opel Kadett, who leads the way ahead of the Mark II Escort of Stan Boville. Sam Boville's got going again, the winner of our Super Modified A final today. But it's classic cars to the fore here. It's Northern Ireland to the fore. Alan Crockett, Stan Boville, Dave Crockett in third in this 4-lap King of the Hill Super Final. I'll say a big thank you to the DDMC, the Darlington and District Motor Club, normally based at Croft in North Yorkshire, but they head north of the border every year for their annual Rallycross meeting for the Autosport International BTRDA Clubmen's Rallycross Championship, and a big thanks to all the DDMC officials for helping put this event on. Crockett leads, Boville in second. Didn't have the best of times in the heat. You can see a chunk bitten out of the left front corner of his Escort. It's an impact with the tyre stacks at Taylor's Turn in his opening race of the day, Stan Boville. Dave Crockett third in the Chevette, the car that I remember him rolling at Liddon Hill several years ago over the curbs in the chicane. Coming through in fourth is David Ewing, then Simon Horton's Subaru. And there is Sam Boville. He's got a puncture left rear. Tyre coming off the rim there, but he's pushing on. In Rallycross, you keep going until your car is no longer capable of moving. Still Alan Crockett with the lead, looking to win the King of the Hill trophy. There is another super final today as well, the BTRDA Championship Super Final for the Dixon Trophy in memory of Gemma Dixon, a great friend of this championship for the last couple of years. Coming up to start the final lap then. It's still Alan Crockett who leads the King of the Hill. 3 Northern Irishmen well clear of their opposition here. Oh, Simon Horton spun. It says winner on his door in the dirt there. He won the rally car class, beating Derek Jobs at Citroën DS3 earlier today, but he's not going to win this one, sadly. He's spun at Taylor's. Great to have Simon back after a few years away in the four-wheel drive Subaru. Hopefully we'll see him for a full campaign next year. It's going to be a win for Northern Ireland. There's yellow flags out at the final corner with that spun Subaru there. It looks like it is going to be Alan Crockett in the beautiful dealer Opel team replica Kadett. Out of the final corner he comes, up towards the checkered flag. The King of the Hill for 2024 is Alan Crockett in the Opel. Stan Boville comes over in second. Dave Crockett in third place in the Vauxhall Chevette. And they are well ahead of everybody else. Entertaining King of the Hill race once again. There's still a battle going on further back. David Ewan and Todd Crooks battling over fourth place, lapping Sam Boville's 3-tired car as they cross the line. Ewing gets home ahead of Crooks, recovering after that tangle with Sam Boville on the first lap. And Simon Horton is being checked by the marshals there, sadly failing to finish. The winning margin just over half a second for Alan Crockett over Stanley Boville in the King of the Hill final. David Crockett in third place ahead of David Ewing, who just beat Todd Crooks home. Sam Boville, despite that puncture, making his home for sixth place. Simon Horton, unfortunately, a non-finisher. Full credit to everyone here today, and full credit once again to the Darlington and District Motor Club for helping put this event on once again. BTRDA Championship had their own super final as well, with 5 cars taking part. The race counting for the Dixon Trophy in memory of Gemma Dixon. And that saw a win at a canter for Todd Crooks in his BMW Mini. Well, the points are in, the tie-break has been carried out, and your champion, subject to final ratification, is Alex Fletcher from the production category in the Honda Civic Type R. Congratulations to Alex and all of the Loughborough College Weira Tools team. Full credit to him. He takes the title on a tie-break with David Bell, and that will will be celebrated hugely, I'm sure. Well done, Alex Fletcher, your Autosport International BTRDA Clubman's Rallycross champion for 2024. Well, that does bring the curtain down on a fabulous season's Rallycross all over the UK. Congratulations to all the winners, especially Alex Fletcher and his students from Loughborough College who prepared the car. Well done to all the winners and everyone involved in a fabulous season of Rallycross. All the BTRDA officials, everybody who has been involved in this championship over the course of 2024. And we'll see you at the Autosport International show in Birmingham in January. But for now, thank you very much indeed for watching, and goodbye.